Welcome back to my channel. Today we're actually checking out some Pirate Warriors 3. Gonna be playing some Garp, just because the upcoming DLC has Young Garp, and it kinda got me in the mood to play Garp. And I also might do a video playing as him in Burning Blood as well, but that'll be at a later date. But I figured hop on, just gonna do this mission. It is one where I could pick like the Marines as my side, so I figured I'd do that and have like the Marines as my assist characters and whatnot. But I actually haven't played Garp or Pirate Warriors 3 in quite a long time. I did get the like DLC costumes and stuff a while back, but I only like played the DLC missions, and that was about it. I didn't do too much after that. I kind of just got it because it was on sale, and it's something I wanted while I was playing the game, but didn't have back then. But also, I actually really enjoy playing Garp more than I remember, because I knew he was like kind of sort of like a meme. Like he has a lot of stuff like Fist of Love and a lot of stuff that isn't like actual attacks, but more just like things he did during the show. And like his unique attack, he throws like the cannonballs like he did at Luffy's ship in Eni's lobby, or I guess post Eni's lobby back in Water 7. But so I didn't really remember liking him as much as I did, but I actually had a lot of fun playing as him. And he works a lot like having a lot of like grab attacks, so it can be easy to get interrupted, but overall it's just fun. It's also fun going back to Pirate Warriors 3 because it's actually quite good, and it feels different than playing Pirate Warriors 4, so it's a good switch up. And I actually think it has almost a bit more replayability in a sense, because it kind of has like randomly generated missions, which I guess in a sense Pirate Warriors 4 does, as like every time you replay a mission it's slightly different, a different map and whatnot. But I find they did it a little bit better with like the nightmare log and stuff, and it also just has a bit more difficulty in my opinion. Although there is still a lot of like cheese methods, like if you just play Fujitora for example, you can just like clear every level with just using his unique attack. But so there is that, but a lot of the other characters it actually adds a little bit more difficulty. And I didn't really check through all the skills, but I'm pretty sure there's less like healing you can get, at least easy healing. So you also have to be a little bit more careful. Although you don't have to deal with like enemies having guard. Although the Logia characters generally tend to be a little bit more difficult if you don't have the skill equipped, which I generally just put on just to have. But I might do a couple more videos in this game, just because switch it up from just doing Burning Blood or Pirate Warriors 4. And we have some characters that we don't have in Pirate Warriors 4, so I'll likely do those characters as the characters I play in the videos I make. And there's actually a lot that I like a lot that didn't make it to Pirate Warriors 4, like Eneru, and I think Moria, and there was Perona. I liked playing Perona quite a bit, and she didn't make it into. And I think Caesar, although I don't really remember playing him all that much, but it's just nice to be able to play other characters that they don't have. The one upside is they are in Burning Blood as well, so I do play them occasionally on videos, I think, when I get them as randoms. So that is an upside. Plus I do have like the DLC outfits and whatnot, so I can always use those. But I'm just really getting excited for the next DLC pack to drop for Pirate Warriors 4, to be able to play Young Garp, Rayleigh, and Roger. It's just going to be a really cool experience, because there is Garp in this game, but there isn't Young Garp, and it won't have like a lot of his like more like hockey moveset type of moves, so that'll be really cool. And just like having Roger and Rayleigh as playable characters is so cool, and something that I think is really needed, because they are really important characters in like the lore of One Piece, and just not ever having them playable has been sad. But during Wano we did get to see them a little bit in action, so there's actually something for them to go off of. Like, because even some characters like don't really have a lot to go off of usually, because they only get like a couple scenes and whatnot. Like Dragon still like couldn't be made into a character because we know nothing about how his powers work, except for it's heavily theorized based off of the stuff with Smoker that it is some sort of weather controlling powers or wind or something along those lines. Also, speaking of Dragon, I mentioned in one of my other videos that I wasn't sure if the old voice actor for Dragon was coming back, but in the newest episode, it was still his voice actor, so they just switched up for the young Dragon, which I actually really liked his young voice. Quite a few people did. I'm also pretty sure it's Kakashi doing it, so it's a really cool voice actor. But the new episode in general was actually really good, even though it focused more essentially on lore and not too much else. But it was still really cool, and some of the art for Vegapunk that they did when he was talking about like his invention he wanted to make, and just a lot of stuff like that, which looked really good. And I'm really excited because I think after here there's like not very many other slow chapters. Like there's pretty much craziness happening like every chapter. And I think pretty soon we'll be able to get to the stuff with Garp that is happening, so that'll be really cool. And just so much to look forward to. It does suck that we're on a 3-week break currently for One Piece, but I've honestly been catching up with so much other stuff. I still need to watch it, but the Sandland series slash the movie part of it is out now to watch, so I need to catch up with that. I think the episode 8 just is dropping today. And then what else do we got that is coming on? I was trying to think of. Oh yeah, not really related to anime, but still animation. Is I watched the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97, like the animated series. So freaking good. Some of like the best X-Men stuff we've ever gotten. And I don't know a ton about the comics or anything, but from what I know, the Storm storyline is going to be really good, and the stuff with like the clone of Jean Grey or whatever is also, a lot of people are really excited for that. I know like some things about it, but not a whole ton. A lot of my comic book knowledge comes from like just hearing about it in like YouTube videos or like researching it, and when I'm just like looking up characters or some stuff, because I haven't read a lot of comic books. I've only ever read a couple in my life. Like I had a Spider-Man one when I was younger, and other than that, I mostly just read them when I was older, like online and whatnot. Whenever I was like watching the series and whatnot, I wanted to look up stuff. But just following like the movies and whatnot, you hear a lot of just people talk about the stuff that's being adapted and what it came from. Very similar to like the anime and manga community, where pretty much any time you're talking about an anime, if there's a manga or light novel to go with it, you'll hear about it and the changes and whatnot, which is just the way it goes. I just usually prefer animation over reading a manga. I usually only end up reading a manga if it's a series I really love, or it's a series I like wanted to enjoy but they kind of butchered it. Like I read Tokyo Ghoul, and there's a lot of series that I've read due to that reason, and a lot that are on like my plan to watch because they didn't get a very good adaptation, like Soul Eater, which Soul Eater looked really good, but once they started diverging from the source material, it was kind of sad to see. But that was also like in the era of like Full Metal Alchemist, when that original series went pretty much anime original from like the very beginning of the series. And then other than that, it's like my main ones. But I'm actually excited to get into Sandland because I know there's more content that will be available than was in the manga, and it's like doing a bit more because they like did the movie. There was some of it. Now they're doing like I think 6 episodes or something like that, new content, which I believe was mostly done by Akira Toriyama before his passing. So that is really exciting. I know some people aren't a fan of like the CGI art style, but I can actually get past that for a lot of stuff when it's done for more of like a stylistic approach. Like what am I trying to think of that had like the new Dragon Ball movie, Superhero. Actually, I was disappointed when I learned it was CGI, but once I actually watched it, I really liked it, and it ended up being some of my favorite stuff from recent Dragon Ball. Some of the choices in the movie I wasn't a super big fan of, like Gohan getting like basically a power up out of nowhere, kind of retconning his character again into someone that's been training. But other than that, and like I liked seeing Piccolo and just characters other than Goku get like their own movie essentially, which is something I think they should do more often. And I'm one of the people that generally likes when it's more Goku focused. Like, I know a lot of people during, like, the GT, if you watch that, complained that there was way too much Goku. But I really liked that it, like, returned to, like, the old Dragon Ball style of following Goku on an adventure and whatnot. But, yeah, for One Piece, and just, like, the gameplay in general for today, I really enjoyed going through and fighting with Garp. You can see here, I was actually trying to finish him off with, like, I think this move right here, where you do, like, I really like a lot of Garp's moveset in this game because it's kind of like wrestling focused, and then it has a lot of his stuff. As I actually completely choked that Fist of Love attack, but then I think I try and go for his cannonball attack where he just throws cannonballs. I think I also messed this up. Yeah. And I get caught in a vortex. Speaking of Blackbeard, I honestly can't wait until we get like the final confrontation with him and get to see him like play like a major antagonist role to actually Straw Hat, because he's usually been like a secondary thing, kind of experiencing his own story. So it'll be really cool when we actually get like a proper face-off. But the final saga is just gonna be so freaking crazy. But I think other than that, that'll be pretty much it. Just wanted to hop on, play some Garp because we got the upcoming DLC and figured it'd be worth it. But that'll be all for this video, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.